What's up, ballers? This Dave here to give you the game preview analysis of the upcoming game at Hard Rock Stadium against the New York Jets. And I hope the fans go bonkers this game because we're going to need a 12-man to gain a little advantage over them. This is the grand finale of the regular season. So we got to go all out. We got to go hard or go home. And if we win and the Bills beat New England, we back in the playoffs. And we ain't been to the playoffs since 2016 under Adam Gase, which we was one and done to the Steelers. If we lose this game, then the Jets are going to be confident going into next season, feeling like they have an edge over us in the pecking order of the AFC East. And, that'll be a sweep for them. So we got to stop that. We can't let that happen. Now, they just ended their season last week where they lost to the Geno Smith-led Seahawks. So, they're not a threat to get a wild card spot, but they may play spoiler and try to shatter our dreams. Right now, New York owns the longest playoff drought in the NFL since 2010, and they lost 6 of their last 7 games after starting the season on fire. They was 6-3, playing pretty good. We also started fast and fell off, mostly because of injuries to Tua. I can't say the injuries to the O-line hurt us as much as that because I still felt like we were able to make plays with the backups. But the injury to Tua obviously was the main reason why, and he definitely got to stay healthy somehow. I don't know if he got to do neck exercises or, do something, dog. Like, you got to stay healthy, man. The best ability is availability, just like they say, and you not being available is always going to cause questions to be raised by the fans. And there's nothing I can say to defend that. But we're the favorites to win this game. Even Colin Cowherd, which is our biggest hater, thinks that, we're going to beat New York and get in. So we're going to see. A lot's on the line. And like I said in the Patriots recap video, this game is going to reveal certain things about Mike McDaniel as a coach, and it's going to reveal if Skylar Thompson should even have a roster spot, and it's going to also reveal how close of a distance or gap it is between us and the Jets after their 2022 draft class. I mean, Sauce Gardner pretty much made his presence felt as a legit cornerback, first-round cornerback at that, with a bright future, and I like how he played. He looked almost like how Xavier Howard looked when he first came into the league. Since Teddy is out with a dislocated finger on his throwing hand, that means that Skylar is the only one healthy. So we went out and signed veteran journeyman quarterback Mike Glennon just in case. And I fully expect Skylar to continue getting all the first team reps. He's been getting reps all week. He got first team reps today. He's going to get the same tomorrow. And, with a game plan now, you got to showcase that you're a better quarterback than Mike White, Skylar. Like, there's no excuses, buddy. On the injury report, we still banged up across the board, which has pretty much been the story all year. We had 6 Dolphins players who did not practice on Wednesday because of injuries. Teron Armstead, he's dealing with a toe, pec, knee, and hip injury. Bradley Chubb got an ankle and hand injury. And Xavier Howard is dealing with a knee injury. And obviously Tua, was in concussion protocol. Based on the media avails and some of the interviews that he did, he looked like he ready to play to me. But he just got to go through the protocols, and, that's just the way it is. We had 5 players that were limited. Obviously Bridgewater and newly acquired tackle Kendall Lamb, who played last week. He's dealing with an ankle injury. Cedric Wilson, Raheem Mostert was also limited. And linebacker Melvin Ingram, we gave him a veteran rest day, so I fully expect him to play in the game as well. Tackle Eric Fisher and fullback Alec Ingold were also out. Fisher has a calf injury, and Alec Ingold with a thumb injury. Both of them were limited. Eric Rowe and Jalen Waddle, who just got on the report this week, has a shoulder injury. He was also limited. Fisher's been inactive the past 3 weeks, so we already knew about him. But the other ones, they played, on Sunday. Ingo was wearing a cast last week. I fully expect him to wear a cast in the Jets game. And they monitored Waddle today. They're going to monitor him tomorrow. He probably going to be a game time decision. Safety Javon Holland has a shoulder injury. Kader Kohu has a thumb injury. And Jalen Phillips is dealing with, his toe is nicked up, but they were all full participants throughout the week. For the Jets, most of their injuries are on the O-line. 3 of the 5 players who didn't practice on Wednesday were Dwayne Brown, their tackle, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, who's a guard, and tackle George Fant. So we need to blitz the edges this game. Attack their weakness, which is that should be a lot of pressures on the left or the right side. It really don't matter. Among the 2 players listed as limited for them was their guard, Nate Herbig. And he's the guy that Duvernay-Tardif replaced in the Seattle game. And the other is safety Jordan Whitehead. Now, I looked at the last 2 times that we played them. The last time one of the games was Week 15 last year, 2021. This game was a part of the streak that we went on last year where we won 31-24 and became the second team in NFL history to get to 7-7 after starting the season 1-7. Ironically, the other team to do that was the New York Jets in 1974. At the time, their season was only 14 weeks. It's 18 weeks now. And that's where the Jets turnaround ended, and they didn't get to the playoffs even on that streak. This was also the game that Tua trucked Michael Carter II in and was shrugging his shoulders like this, and he went 16 for 27, 196 yards, threw 2 touchdowns, but he also threw 2 interceptions. We unleashed Duke Johnson this game as well. He toted that bitch 22 times for 107 yards with 2 touchdowns of his own. And this was like a homecoming game for him, being from the crib, growing up right around that Norland area. And I'm not going to lie, Duke brought some juice, to this squad. He made plays and he had our offense looking much better than it did when we was just running with Gaskin and Ahmed. Even Philip Lindsay, who should have got off more, but he didn't. But Duke Johnson, he definitely represented much better than the other running backs. Even Myles Gaskin's utilization this game fit better with Duke as that lightning to his thunder, with Duke running the power plays, because Gaskin had 10 rushes himself for 54 yards, giving us a 5.4 yards per run, production. And you know what? It's a shame because if we had Duke in the beginning of that season, things could have played out different. We got Duke towards the end of the season. Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki, and Isaiah Ford had over 40 yards receiving. Parker scored a touchdown, and defensive tackle Christian Wilkins' name is on that rec list because he himself had a touchdown early in the 4th quarter. He was juggling the ball, trying to control it, and then he caught it, turned up by leaping into the stands. Then he did the worm in the end zone. Everybody was celebrating with him. We need to get Christian Wilkins involved more on the goal line. Because it seemed like he be happy to get in there and play. Defensively, we allowed 24 points and had to rally back from a 10-0 deficit to win. But we pretty much held Zach Wilson in check. He only had 170 yards passing. They ran with a multitude of backs, but Tevin Coleman is probably the one that I would say hurt us the most in this game. But it didn't matter. We still got the dub. The other game we played them in was at MetLife Stadium this year in Week 5. We got destroyed 17-40 based on the score. But if you watch this game, it was a lot closer than the score indicates. We allowed them to score 21 unanswered points in the 4th quarter. A lot of that was due to turnovers. And so, that's why the score was like that. Tua was out from the concussion that he suffered in the previous game against the Bengals. So Teddy was named the next man up. Got all the first team reps, but he got a supposed concussion after he was hit by rookie cornerback Ahmad Sauce Gardner on a blitz in the end zone. And, Teddy was trying to throw, but, he got hit, and he got flagged for intentional grounding in the end zone, which gave them 2 points and made it a safety as well. And from the concussion that Tua suffered, they had spotters out there, like I said, and it looked like he could have came back in, but they made sure that he didn't. So Skylar had to play the rest of the game, and I was confident in him taking over the reins because in the preseason we allowed him to play a full game, so he got a lot of reps, and he looked pretty good. He looked controlled. Even when he lost the fumble, he was able to pick it up and still, keep his head, scanning the field for receivers, and he did the best he could considering the circumstances. And I can make that same assessment about last game and last performance, against the Patriots. But this week, I ain't listening to none of the excuses. I'm pretty sure he got a full game plan this week. So I expect him to show improve and showcase that he's a better quarterback than Mike White and lead us to victory. In the week 5 game, Skylar was 19 of 33 for 166 yards. He threw 1 interception. That gave the Jets the ball near midfield, and it allowed them to cash in on the Zach Wilson 5-yard run to extend the lead to 19-7. We made it a 2-point game early in the second half after tight end Durham Smythe ran it in. It was like a quarterback sneak. It's a play that we ran with Tua before where, Tua holds hands on his helmet looking like he can't hear the play, like something wrong, and then you see the motion back or receiver get under center, and then they run a quarterback sneak. We need to run more trick plays besides just that one, because I seen us run that twice. And then Jason Sanders makes a 46-yard field goal, but then he misses a field goal that would have been a clutch kick to give us the lead, and he didn't come through. Same thing happened last game. He missed a kick that would have put us up 10-7 to give us the early edge, but he missed. We got to replace him in the offseason. Raheem Mostert balled hard this game, though. We had 113 yards rushing and a touchdown for us. The Cheetah and the Penguin were both held under 50 yards each receiving, and their numbers plummet anytime Tua's not in the game. So whenever Tua's not playing, you can clearly see that you can't just put anybody in there and get the same production. You actually do got to have somebody that knows how to throw with anticipation and get them the ball in the right spots. Our defense, I think they played good for the most part, especially against defending passes to their receiving core. Quarterback Zach Wilson only threw for 210 yards, no touchdowns, and Corey Davis and Garrett Wilson was shut down primarily for the whole game. But we made Brees the Beast Hall look like Roger Craig out there. Like, he hurt us by land and by air. We let this man get 97 rushing yards off of 18 carries and a touchdown, averaging 5.4 yards per carry, and he caught 2 passes for 100 yards. And I would say most of that came from that wheel route that he ran, but we can't let that happen this game. Here's my keys to victory on offense. I think with the backups playing at quarterback this game, it's probably going to be determined by field goals, so Sanders definitely can't miss. Another thing, I think we should run the jet sweep maybe 2 or 3 times this game and run the outside zone runs, and maybe a couple wide receiver reverses to Hill or Waddle. That worked the last time we played them. Mostert scored a touchdown last game by running to the outside. Another key, I think Skylar needs to decide quick and with anticipation. Don't be delinquent throwing the ball to the middle of the field, because it's going to be a pick to Ahmad Sauce Gardner or one of them other cornerbacks. Don't forget to block Franklin Myers. I know there's going to be a lot of tension on Quinnen Williams, and rightfully so. He's one of the best interior linemen in the league, but Franklin Myers can also hurt us, so we got to make sure and block and chip him and know where he's at. Also, I think Michael Carter II, they got 2 Michael Carters on their team. One is a running back, one is a cornerback. He can't cover Jalen Waddle. So I think we should target Waddle first and then go to Hill, because I think Waddle can get off on him this game. Here's my keys to victory on defense. I think we need to throw the kitchen sink at them and, hit them early and often to throw off their accuracy and their ability to go deep. Blitz in the red zone as well, because I believe both Mike and Zach Wilson will throw picks in that area. I wouldn't be surprised if Xavier and Howard can get one somewhere in the back of the end zone in the middle. Watch the wheel routes to the running backs as well, because they're probably going to do that again this game. They may even run angle routes to Michael Carter to get him free in the open field. Last week against the Seahawks, it looked like Mike White was hampered by his rib injury. He may still be affected and unable to get that torque and use his lower body to throw deep. So they may have a check down game plan this game. Even though we got a bad pass defense according to the numbers, because we give up the 6th most passing yards per game, I'm not worried about their quarterbacks. And I think, like I said, they're going to commit multiple turnovers, probably even some fumbles as well. We got to force them into those, though. And, you know, the Jets, they failed to score a touchdown in their last 2 games. They failed to establish their running game. Over their last 4 games, they've only averaged 66.8 yards per run. And I did a double take when I checked our stats against the run. We've surrendered the 8th fewest rushing yards per game, but it don't look like it. I mean, numbers lie sometimes, and I think even though it says that, that's versus the rest of the league. When I watch the games, we getting gashed still. Like Ramondre Stevenson, like I said last week, we allowed this man to almost convert a 2nd and 19 on a run. We can't let the run hurt us. Now, I looked at the last time Shula coached against the Jets, and I went to that 1987 season, and I watched that Week 12 game. That was a high-scoring battle between Dan Marino and Ken O'Brien, but we still won 37-28. And at that point in the season, we was 5-6, trying to get in the playoffs, and that win put us at 6-6. But we still finished the season 8-7, and we didn't get in. But this was a hell of a game, and there was a lot of things that I noticed that Shula did early. We lost the Week 5 matchup against them earlier this year, 37-31. And I know a lot of fans want to say it was the defense fault in the running game, but when I look at the teams that we lost to that did score 21 points on us or more, those was high-scoring teams that was going to do that to anybody. I mean, the Seahawks, the Redskins, I think we lost to the Broncos. Elway was putting up those kind of numbers. And, you know, we shut out the Chiefs 40-0. And in the games that we won, we held those teams to under 17 points. So I think our defense was good enough, but not elite. Still, we still should have gotten the playoffs this year. Even though Ken O'Brien didn't have the arm talent Marino had, obviously Marino was the GOAT, he wasn't that far off. And he made up for it with his instincts and intangibles. So that's why him and Dan would have the shootouts they would have. And the Jets at the time had some weapons as well, almost as good as ours. They had Al Toon at receiver, Johnny Hector, Freeman McNeil, and Brad Baxton at backfield. And we had to respect them, you know, but we should have had a better record. But in this Monday night game, Marino went 29 for 40 and threw for 293 yards and a touchdown. Ken O'Brien completed 18 passes off 25 attempts for 235 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and we sacked him times. Our O-line, on the other hand, played perfect. Marino didn't get touched, and he didn't turn the ball over. So that was pretty much the difference. But I want y'all to pay attention to how we started this game. And we was pounding the rock with Troy Stratford and Ron Davenport. And just look at how we ran different formations, different split back formations. We ran the I form, we ran the far near, we ran the shotgun split back, and we sprinkled in some single back. And just look at the deception. And you notice the threat of Marino throwing deep to the Marks brothers backed off their corners and their safeties, and that opened the running lanes in the middle. And Shula took the approach of starting the game physical, which is what we need to do this game, and taking it to him, you know, and that allowed Marino off of the fakes to scan the defense, see what they was doing, see their alignment, and plan his aerial attack later in the game. My favorite play on this first drive was the fake running back dive play action pass to Dan Johnson in the end zone. And, you know, the running back actually, you know, dove over the lineman without the ball, and Marino was able to find the tight end. On this drive alone, I want y'all to notice we used 2 fullbacks. Ron Davenport, Woody Bennett. Davenport got a carry. Running back Troy Stratford got 3 to 4 carries. and Marino threw the 2 tight ends. He threw the Bruce Hardy and Dan Johnson, and he threw the slot wide receiver James Pruitt. And you know what? The Marks brothers didn't get a catch the whole drive. So that's an example of how I said Shula has contingency plans built in, knowing what teams are going to want to try to do, just like teams right now trying to limit and figure out ways to only allow Hill and Waddle to be in certain zones and the others they covering. Our backup plan to that is running toss, running plays, which are good, but throw to the tight ends, throw to Gesicki, throw to Hunter Long. I haven't seen Hunter Long get a catch yet. Throw to Smythe more. I thought Gossey and Stewsville did a great job last year of utilizing the tight ends. Our tight ends played probably the best they've played last year out of many other years that we had. Next time that we scored at the goal line, we gave Troy the rock, and he actually did dive over the lineman for the score. What set that up? The fake that we did earlier in the game, earlier in the first, later in the first drive. So I think Mike McDaniel is going to mature to that level of execution and coaching and calling up plays to create deception. He's doing that now with his plays that he's running right now. He is creating deception. We are able to take advantage of a lot of mismatches and a lot of spaces to, hit teams down the field deep, and we have been doing that. I just think we need to expand on that. In the playoffs, run your best plays. Hopefully we make it to the Super Bowl and pull out all the stops there too. But next year, we got to expand that playbook. Maybe expand it to more wider sets. We got the tight sets down pat. Let's expand it to the wider sets. But that's all I got for this video. Y'all let me know what y'all think. What do y'all think we should, how do y'all think we can win this game? What do y'all think the keys to victory is? And if we do get in the playoffs, how confident are y'all that we're gonna make it all the way to the divisional round or to the Super Bowl? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Join the network. Till next time, signing off. Y'all know what it is, baby. Fins up.